की जय।
जय।
ओम श्रीमद् परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की
जय।
आनंद गौड़ी वैष्णव वृंद की
जय।
नमाचार्य दास ठाकुर की
जय।
से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत दादर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की
जय।
गो प्रेमानंदे।
हरि बोल।
All glories assembled devotees, all
और
glories
हरे
assembled
कृष्णा,
devotees,
हरे
all
कृष्णा,
glories assembled
हरे
devotees,
कृष्णा,
always Guru
हरे
Gaura. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam
सर्वोत्तमं
Devim
देवी
Saraswati
सरस्वती
Vyasam
व्यासं
Tado
ततो
Jayamudire
जयमुदीरये।
Nashtaprayeshu
नष्टप्रायेषु
Bhadreshu
भद्रेषु
Nityam Bhagavata
नित्यं
Sevaya
भगवतसेवया
Bhagavati
भगवते उत्तमश्लोके
Uttamaśloke Bhakti
भक्ति
Bhavati Naishtahi
नष्टगी।
Krishnaya
कृष्णाय
Vasudevaya
वासुदेवाय देवकी
Devaki Nandanaya
नन्दनाय च
Cha Nanda Gopa
नन्दगोपकुमाराय
Kumaraya Govindaya
गोविन्दाय
Namo
नमो
Namah
नमः।
Namah Pankajanaಭಾಯ Namah
नमः पङ्कजनाभ्ये
Pankajamaline
नमः
Namah Pankajanetraya
पङ्कजनेत्राय
Namaste
नमस्ते
Pankajagre
नमः।
Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum
पङ्गुं
Langayade Girim
लङ्घयते गिरि
Yadkripatamam
यत्कृपातमहं
Vande Shri
वन्दे
Gurum Dinadari
परमानन्दमाधवम्।
Shri Chaitanyamishwaram Paramanandamadavam. Hare Krishna. Reading from the Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 17. Today's chapter 17, the divisions of faith. Today's verses 11 to 16. 6 verses. So we'll discuss 6 verses today. And we'll read the 11th verse now. Abalakam shibir yajno vididishto ya ijyade yashtavyame vedi mana evedi mana samadhaya sa satviga. अबलकांक्षिभिर्यत्नो विधिदृष्टो य इज्यते यष्टव्यम एवेदि मना समाधाय स सात्विगा अबलकांक्षिभिर्यत्नो विधिदृष्टो य इज्यते यष्टव्यमेवेदि मनः समाधाय स सात्विगा. Yes, Katyani Maji.
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। अबलां काङ्क्षिभिर्यज्ञो विधिनिष्ठो य युज्यते अष्टव्यमेवेदि न मनः समाधाय स सात्विका। हरे कृष्ण, हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. So this is Snigdha Maji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। अफलाकांक्षीभिर्यज्ञो विधिष्णो युज्यते इष्टव्यमेवेति न मनः समाधाय स सात्विकः।
Hare Krishna. Yes.
हरे
Can
कृष्ण।
read the word
Yes,
meanings.
yes, Prabhuji. Afala kankshi, devoid of desires for result. Yajnaha, sacrifice vidhi accordingly. Drishtaha, direction. Yaha, anyone. Ijyate, performs. Yastavyam, must be performed. Eva, certainly. Iti, thus. Manaha, mind. Samadhyaya, fixed in. Sahi, Satvika is in the mode of goodness, meaning of sacrifices, that sacrifice perform according to the duty and to spiritual rules and with no expectation of reward is of the nature of goodness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Verse 12. Abhisandhaya tu phalam धम्बार्थमपि चैव यत् युज्यते भरतश्रेष्ठा तं यज्ञं विधिराजसम् अभिसन्धाय तु फलं दम्भार्थमपि चैव यत् युज्यते भरतश्रेष्ठा तं यज्ञं विधिराजसम् अभिसन्धाय तु फलं दम्भार्थम् अपि चैव यत् युज्यते भरतश्रेष्ठा तं यज्ञं विधिराजसम्। हरे कृष्ण। करते हैं महाराज जी। करते हैं महाराज जी।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। अभिसन्धाय तु फलं दम्भार्थम् अपि चैव तत् युज्यते भरतश्रेष्ठा तं यज्ञं विद्धि राजसम्। हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण। यस
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। अभिसन्धाय तु फलं दम्भार्थमपि चैवत यत् युज्यते भरतश्रेष्ठ तं यज्ञं विधिराजसम् अभिसन्ध्याय desiring to but phalam the results dambha pride artham material benefit api also sa and eva certainly yat that which isyate worship Bharata Srestha, O chief of the Bharatas, tam that yajam sacrifice vidhi knows rajasam in the mode of passion, meaning but that sacrifice performed for some material end or benefit or performed ostenta-
ostentatiously
ostentatiously out of pride is of the nature of passion, O chief of the Bharatas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Verse 13. Vidihinam asishtanam mandrahinam adakshinam shraddha virahidam yajnam tamasam parichakshade. Vidihinam asishtanam mandrahinam adakshinam shraddha virahidam yajnam tamasam parichakshade. Vidihinam asishtanam mandrahinam adakshinam shraddha virahidam yajnam tamasam parichakshade.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। विधिहीनम् असृष्टान्नं मन्त्रहीन अदक्षिणं श्रद्धा विरहितं यज्ञं तामसं परिचक्षते। हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vidhihinam asrushtanam mantrahinam adakshinam Shraddha virahitam yagyam tamasang parichakshate. Vidhinam without scriptural directions, asra ananam without distribution of prasadam, mantrahinam no with no chanting of Vedic hymns, adakshinam with no remuneration to the priest, Shraddha faith, virahitam without, yagyam sacrifice, tamasam in the mode of ignorance, parichakshati is to be considered, and meaning, and that sacrifice performed in defense of scriptural injunctions in which no spiritual food is distributed, no harms are chanted, and no remunerations are made to the priests, and which is faithless. That sacrifice is of the nature of the ignorance. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Verse 14. Devadvija Guru Prajna Pujanam Shauchamarjavam Brahmacharyam Ahimsa cha Shariram Tava Uchyade. Devadvija Guru Prajna Pujanam Shauchamarjavam Brahmacharyam Ahimsa cha Shariram Tava Uchyade. Devadvija Guru Prajna Pujanam Shauchamarjavam Brahmacharyam Ahimsa cha Shariram Tava Uchyade. Yes.
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। देवद्विजगुरु प्राज्ञा पूजनं शौचमार्जवं ब्रह्मचर्य अहिंसा च शारीरं तप उच्यते। हरे कृष्ण हरे
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Devadija Guru Pragyang Pujanang Shocham Aryavam Brahmacharyam ahinsang cha sarirang tapa uchyate. Deva, the Supreme Lord. Dvija, the Brahmanas. Guru, the spiritual master. Pragya, worshipable personalities. Pujanam, worship. Shausham, cleanliness. Arjabam, simplicity. Brahmacharyam, celibacy. Ahimsa, non-violence. Cha, also. Sariram, pertaining to the body. Tapaha, austerity. Uchyate is said to be. Meaning, the austerity of the body consists of this worship of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual master, and superiors like the father and mother. Cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence are also austerities of the body. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Verse 15. Anudvegagaram vakyam satyam priyahidam chayad swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tava uchyate. Anudvegagaram vakyam satyam priyahidam chayad swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tava uchyate. Anudvegagaram vakyam satyam priyahidam chayad swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tava uchyate. Yes, Maharaji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Anudyogaram vakyam satyam yahitam jaya. Swadhyaya abhyasanam jaiva vakmayam tava uchyate. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahinam chayat swadhaya abhyasanam cheva vankayam tapauchyate. Anudveja, not agitating. Karam, producing. Vakyam, words. Satyam, truthful. Priya, dear. Hitam, beneficial. Cha, also. Yat, which. Swadhyaya, Vedic study. Abhyasanam, practice. Cha, also. Eva, certainly. Vanmayam, of the voice. Tapaha, austerity. Uchyate is said to be. Meaning, austerity of speech consists in speaking truthfully and beneficially, and in avoiding speech that offends. One should also recite the Vedas regularly. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. 16. Manaprasada saumyatvam maunamatma vinigraha bhava samshuddhir ityeda tapomanasamuchyate. Manaprasada saumyatvam maunam atma vinigraha bhava samshuddhir ityeda tapomanasamuchyate. Manaprasada saumyatvam maunam atma vinigraha bhava samshuddhir ityeda tapomanasamuchyate. Yes, Katyayani
Om
Maji.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Anyaprasadam atmavinigraha bhavasamskriti tapo manasamuchyate. Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Om
Yes.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Manah prasadah saumyatvam maunamatma vinigrahah bhava sangsudhiritveta tapomanam samuchyate. Meaning, manah prasadah, satisfaction of the mind. Saumyatvam, without duplicity towards others. Maunam, gravity. Atma, self. Vinigraha, control. Bhava, nature. Samshuddhi, purification. Iti, thus. Etad, that is. Tapaha, austerity. Manasam, of the mind. Uchyate, is said to be. And serenity, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purity of thought are the austerity of the mind. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnanandanashlakaya Chachurunmiridam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthavidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Dhruvagadam Mahyam Dadadi Supadandigam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udapada Gamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsa Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahaganaragunadam Tam Sajivam. Sadvaidam sadhudam parijana saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishnavadan Sakandridam Shivishagam Vidam Sa He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagalpade Gopesha Goviga Kanda Radha Kanda Namastude Taptaganjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpadruvescha Kripa Sindhuvye Vacha Padidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshadharini Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Abala Kamshibir Yajno Vidhi Drishto Ya Ijjade Yashtavyame Vedi Mana Samadhaya Sa Satvigaha of sacrifices, that sacrifice performed according to duty and to scriptural rules and with no expectation of reward is of the nature of goodness. Hare Krishna. After explaining the different modes of nature pertaining to eating habits, what is pleasing to mode of people in the sattvic mode, what is pleasing to those in the rajogun, and what is pleasing to the tamogun. Krishna now is going to explain the sacrifices in the modes. What are the sacrifices? The sacrifice, as we know, is basically done by grihasthas only. In 16th chapter, you have seen sacrifice basically people in grihasthashrama, because this is one of their duties, dhanam, yajnam. These are duties which are in the 16th verse. You can, 16th chapter, verse number 1 itself. It is given dhanam, dhamma, cha yajnasya. So yajna sacrifice, there are two kinds of sacrifices with an intention of returns, with intention of results, a desire for results, which is called bhalakamshi, fruitive. Another one is avalakamshi, without a desire for fruit results. Both are mentioned in the Vedas. If you look at the Karmakanda section, you can see a lot of yajnas for worshipping demigods like Devas like Indra, Surya, Chandra, Agni, Vayu, and for each and every, if for each your desires, according to the desire you're having, you can worship these devas and derive results from them by a conduct of yajnas. But the real sacrifice is sacrifice to Krishna only, or Yajna Purusha Vishnu. Yajnartam karma anyotra. Bhagavad Gita says, Yajnartam karma anyotra. That is Yajna. Real Yajna is Avalagam Shibir. Avalagam Shibir. Without a desire for results, without craving for results. What is it in it for me? What will I get in return? This is the nature of human being. whatever you do, you are always anxious to know what will be the return from it. But those yajnas which doesn't have a reserve for results is called Abalakam Shivir. According to direction of rules and regulations pertaining to duty of each ashrama or duty to each varna. That is given in Vedas. These directions are given in Vedas, and you have to do that only. And what is the mentality with which you should do? Because people may ask, how you can perform a yajna without a desire for results? Is it possible? Is it possible for anyone to conduct a yajna without a desire for results? It's not possible. That's not human nature. So mind has to be trained. What is the training that mind should need? Yashtavyam idevedi, yashtavyam evedi. That this is what I should do. This is something I should do, which is given yajnas on Vedas only. So I'm under duty to do this. You have to do it as a duty. 6th chapter, very first verse, if you look at it, you will find that it's duty only. Anashida karma valam karyam karma karodiya sasanyasa sayogi cha na niragni na chakriya. Karyam karma karodiya. That is, you have to act. Nashida karma phalam, karyam karma, I have to do this conduct, obligatory. It is an obligatory work I should do without depending on the results. That gives you the strength of mind. Manas samadhaya. The mind should always be an impetus. There should be an impetus for mind for doing things. And the best impetus is to rely on Shastras. So Krishna says, Yashtavim evedi samadhaya, manas samadhaya, sa sattvigaha. Generally, people go to temples, churches, and mosques with the intention, some returns. If you go to Hindu temples, you'll find a lot of, a list will be there of what we can, what do you call, yajnas that you can conduct, and what is the cost of each yajna, what is the cost of one, it will be given the board, and people, according to the circumstances or situation which they are in, suppose they are looking for a job, so there will be some kind of sacrifice which will enable you to get that job. Or if you want to get married, there's some yajnas or some special offerings. You can say offerings. It's not normally yajnas, offerings also. That offering will be there, and according to nature of the offering, you can get the desired results. People think that what is the point just going to temple and worship God? You should get something out of it. But the real purpose of going to temple is to worship Krishna only, nothing else. Just see the beautiful form of Krishna, look at it, worship it, pay obeisances, see the arati that is performed, and listen to Sankirtan, which is performed along with the arati. That is the way you should worship Krishna in temples without any sacrifice, without any purpose, intention. So it is a duty of every person, every civilized person, to obey the rules and regulations of Shastras. So this is the yajna in the mode of goodness, sattviga. So what about others? Rajasi is given. Abhisandaya tu phalam dhambartam abhijaivayat ijjade bharata shrestha tam yajnam vidhi rajasam. But sacrifice performed for some material end or benefit or performed ostentatiously out of pride is of the nature of passion or Jiva Bharadas. So two things are there. Either you do it for some benefit, some returns. If I do a sacrifice to Deva, I sacrifice horse sacrifice, then I get lot of strength, lot of power, or I get good children, or I get opulences. So this is a desire for results or benefit. Another mentality is that I'm doing this, I'm such a great man, I'm very powerful, I'm rich, I can conduct very expensive yajnas. That mentality is also given in the 16th chapter. Verse 13 or something like that, 13, 14, that range we find. Adhyoyam abhijavanavasmi ko anyosti sadusho maya, ko anyosti sadusha maya. Who is there similar to me? Yakshe dasyami modishya. Yakshe, I shall sacrifice. Dasyami, I shall give in charity. So sacrifice, charity is coming later. So I shall sacrifice. With a lot of opulence, they'll do it. Just to get some publicity, name, fame. So that people worship him. Ah, yeah, that person, he has done so much. He has given a lot of sacrifice and he has given a lot of donation temple. So that is the mode of passion. But verse is a sacrifice in the mode of ignorance. Vidhihinam asishtanam mandrahinam adakshinam shraddha virahidam yajnam tamasam parichakshyade. And that sacrifice performed in defense of the scriptural injunctions, in which no spiritual food is distributed, no hymns are chanted, and no dominations are made to priests, and which is faithless, that sacrifice is of the nature of ignorance. So many things are mentioned pertaining to mode of ignorance. First one is vidhihinam, directly opposite to the mode of goodness. The persons in the mode of goodness always stick to the scriptural rules. The other one that give opposite. No, I can have many opinions. So many things I can do according to my whims and fancies. If people in general follow their own opinions, then there will be no uniformity and there will be anarchy. So there should be always a standard practice. A standard practice of doing anything. There should be a standard practice. And that standard practice is given Vedas, in scriptures. So if you follow Vedas, that is a benefit. No chaotic situation will arise. But persons in the mode of ignorance, they are averse to Shastras. They reject Shastras. They say that it's misleading. It's like a howling of a fox in the forest. Especially as the Muni called Charvaka Muni, he says that Vedic hymns are like a howling of fox. So antagonistic the person is that he rejects Vedas and all that is mentioned Vedas. Vidhihinam asishtanam, no prasadam distribution. Now all sacrifices, there should be prasadam distribution. Prasadam should be offered to Bhog should be offered to Krishna, then the prasadam will be offered to demigods, and then to brahmanas, and then to public in general. So this is a system that we can do, that one should do. There should always be prasadam distribution. Without prasadam distribution, there cannot be any. Basically, people nowadays, suppose there is Srimad Bhagavatam and all that, people will be very interested in listening. They not attend the classes. Afternoon will be food distribution. Immediately there will be a lot of gathering. Then after taking prasad, everyone will leave. Evening again there will be a distribution. So morning 3 times, morning, noon, and evening, night. There will be distribution of food, prasada. So hundreds of people gather and partake prasada. But nobody will listen to Bhagavatam class. After taking prasadam, they will leave. This is the situation in Kerala now. I don't know other parts.
Everywhere, Prabhuji, everywhere it happens.
So, Srimad Bhagavatam we see being conducted in many temples. Nobody will listen to Bhagavatam. Just take a prasadam, only will come, then go. Or after in the evening, suppose there are cultural programs, then people will come for cultural programs, Bharatanatyam and all those things, or some music program. Everybody very interested. But normal practice is that yajna should be conducted very nicely, very properly, and people should attend the yajnas. And those who come for the yajnas should be served with prasad. This is a proper way. Mandrahinam. Those conducted by people in Tamoguna, there will be no mantra. They are not interested. Since they are against Shastras, there is no chanting of hymns. Or sometimes, even if they are chanting mantra also, there will be a lot of errors, mistakes, or they may create their own mantras. It sometimes happens that when you're conducting yajnas, there will be so many mistakes in yajnas. So when Bali Maharaja was conducting yajna, Vamana Dev came in. Then he demanded 3 feet of land, and he took everything, all possessions of Mahabali, and then tied him up. And then he was released and sent to Sutala with a lot of blessings. After that, Vamanadev asked Shukracharya was conducting yajna. Now, if there are any mistakes in the sacrifice done by Bali Maharaj, you can correct them. Then Shukracharya says, no, my dear Lord, your names have been uttered, this sacrifice now. So there is no need for this one. He says this one very famous verse is there, Bhagavatam, 8th canto, chapter 23, verse 16. Mandrastandras chidram deshakala vastudaha sarvam karodi nischidram anusangirtanam tava. Sometimes in the chanting of mantras or conduct of dharma, there may be some fault. While determining desha kala vastu, desha, kala, and patra, there may be some mistakes also. Determining what is the correct time, what is the correct place, and who should be the recipient. There may be some mistakes there also. But sarvam karodi nishchitam, all the mistakes, everything, all faults, every shortcomings will be rectified immediately when anusangirtanam tava, when we chant the Mahamantra. So in sacrifices conducted by in ISKCON temples, you find there will be, of course, Vedic hymns will be chanted. But along with Vedic hymns, in every regular intervals, we find Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare, Om Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. So all the Vedic mantras are starting with Om. So in the course of Vedic mantras, in yajnas, we'll also say Om Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare. Fire sacrifice. We find temples, a lot of fire sacrifices will be there. While giving Diksha and so many ceremonies, fire ceremonies will be there. Mantras will be chanted. But at regular intervals, you will chant the Hare Krishna mantra also. Because in case you are chanting wrongly, that will be rectified. Such powerful, so powerful is the Harinam. But in case of Tamogun, people in Tamogun, they don't chant at all. They have complete disregard for Krishna and Vedas. So mandrahinam. Adakshinam. Normal practice is that the person who is conducting the Brahmana, who is the head puja, head priest, he is conducting the yajnas, he should be sufficiently rewarded. There is called his remuneration is called dakshina. That is the proper way to conduct. In case of Tamogun, they don't give any dakshina at all. But nowadays, what happens that people are doing this conducting Srimad Bhagavatam, they demand money. They said, "And you have to give me 50,000 rupees or 1 lakh rupees, then only I'll come for this program." So it has become a sort of business. Srimad Bhagavatam itself, in the very very second chapter, first canto, first chapter, second chapter, verse 9, it is very clearly said that Dharmasya hi abhavargasya nartho bagalpade. Dharmasya hi abhavargasya. The real conduct of engagement, dharma, is for uplifting you to spiritually uplifting. Avapavargasya. Dharmasya hi apavargasya na arthopagalpade. It is not performed for any material gain. Na arthasya dharma ekantiyasya. Dharma ekantiyasya means especially people who are engaged in ultimate occupation, which is spreading Krishna consciousness or teaching Vedas. Nartasya dharma ekantasya kamo labhai hismrida. Should never use material gain to cultivate material sense gratification. Nartasya dharma ekantasya. Dharma ekanta dharma, you may get dakshina, but that dakshina should not be used for your sense gratification. In case of yajnas conducted by Tamogun people, there is no dakshina at all. Then Shraddha Virahidam, no faith. Without any faith. Without any faith in scriptures or Supreme Personality, that type of faith, actually, Tamogun also has a faith, but actually the faith in Tamogun is actually faithlessness. Although it is mentioned that we have faith in, there is a faith in Tamogun also, that we have seen. Worshipping Predas, Buddhas and all those things. But it is actually by faithlessness. So after explaining the yajnas, now Krishna is going to explain what is taba. But before classifying this taba into various modes, he is classifying taba, he is explaining what are the 3 types of tabas pertaining to body, words, and mind. In that order. So first explain what is a taba pertaining to body. He says that Deva Dvija Guru Prajna Pujanam Shauchamarjavam Brahmacharyam Ahimsa Cha Shariram Tapuchade. So 8 austerities, 8 types of austerities are mentioned. in respect of austerity pertaining to the body. The first four, Deva, Dvija, Guru, Prajna, Pujanam. Deva Pujanam, Dvija Pujanam, Guru Pujanam, Prajna Pujanam. Deva includes Krishna as well as demigods. Then Dvija, Brahmana Shrestha. Then Guru, the spiritual master. And Prajna means people who are intelligent, well-versed with Shastras, as well as your father and mother, parents. In that order. So, father and mother are also respectable. But the most supreme respectable person is the supreme person, then the spiritual master. Some people may say that father and mother are the gods that we are seeing, that is before you. So they should be given the first importance. It's not like that at all. Always Krishna is the supreme. Chaitanya Charitamrita, one person we are pertaining, why Krishna is supreme? Because everybody is a servant of Krishna. Whether somebody is above Krishna, at par with Krishna, below Krishna. In Vrindavan, you find a lot of persons who are above Krishna, like his elders. Then he is Sagas, Sagis. But everybody, whether in material world or spiritual world, everybody is considered as a servant of Krishna only. So worship of Krishna is a prime duty. Then worship of Dvija, then the spiritual master. This is actually a psychophysio aspects. This is pertaining to body. So body is, the psycho aspect is that you have to worship this four. Deva, Dvija, Guru, Prajna. So that is a type of austerity pertaining to body. And then the body, with the body itself, what we have to do is Shaucham Arjavam. Simplicity, cleanliness and simplicity. You should not do complex things, complicated things. You should be very straightforward. Arjava means always, again, rightly following the spiritual instructions and what are rightly following what is given in Shastras and rejecting what is prohibited. That is Arjava. Cleanliness, Shaucham, two types of cleanliness we know. Then Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means actually we should not indulge in sex outside married life. Sex is sanctioned in scriptures only, in marriage only. So, one person who is strictly abiding by the rules and regulations of Vedas pertaining to sexual life is actually considered to be brahmachari only. Not that you are not, staying away from this one. If you are strictly following this scripture, it is as good as a brahmachari. So, ahimsa, we know the ahimsa. So these are the four types, 4 plus 4, 8 types of ahimsa, the austerities pertaining to body. Then Krishna speaking about the austerities pertaining to the word. Anidvegagaram vakyam satyam priyam hidam chayat. 4 types. Then 5, swadhyaya. Anidvegagaram vakyam satyam priyam hidam chayat. Austerity of my speech consists of speaking truthfully and beneficially, and in avoiding speech that offends. One should also recite the Vedas regularly. So, if you want to preach, you have to follow these 4 conditions. But what should be anidvegan? One should not agitate. Your words, one's words should not agitate others. It should be spoken, it should be true, but should be pleasing also. Then ultimate benefit should be for the hearers. So Manu has written, Satyam Bruvere Priyam Na bruyade satyam apriyam. Satyam bruyat priyam. Priyan. Na bruyat satyam apriyam. Priyam cha nanudam bhuyat esha dharma sanadanaha. Speak the truth in such a way that is pleasing to others. Satyam bruyat priyam bhuyan. Should be spoken nicely. Na bruyat satyam apriyam. Do not speak the truth in a manner injurious to others. Now, the spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada says, the spiritual master can speak the truth to his disciples, yes. But when he speaks to general public, he should speak in such a way that he should not agitate them. At the same time, never speak untruth, though it may be present. Priyam cha na ardam. Na ardam. That means not truth. Priyam cha na ardam. Bruyad esha. Na bruyad. Although it may be very pleasing to say lie or that which is not truth, it may be pleasing to others. That should not be spoken. This is a regulations in the Sanatana Dharma. Then Swadhyaya Abhyasat. Yes, one should always recite Bhagavad Gita, read from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. That will give you so much pressure, so much knowledge, and so much purity. In the third chapter, 25th third canto, 25th chapter, verse 25, Kapila Muni speaks of Sadam Prasanga Mama Virya Sammido. Sadam Prasang means association of devotees. Sadam Prasangan, what they'll do? Mama Virya Sammido. They always speak of my Virya, my stories only, my pastimes only. Bhavanti Hirkarna Rasayana Katha. And what are these pastimes? These stories, nicely, it's very, very pleasing to a heart and the ears, both ears and heart. It's very pleasing. So that is a best aspect of Srimad Bhagavatam. It's pleasing to heart and it's pleasing to ears. Because it purifies and gives so much pleasure, so much happiness, real bliss, Srimad Bhagavatam. So Swadhyaya Abhyasanam. So these are the 5 relations pertaining to words. And finally, Krishna speaks about the austerities with respect to mind. Manaprasada Saumyuttam, Maunam, Atma Vinigraha, Bhava Samshuddhir, Itedat, Tabo Manasamuchyate. Most important of all these austerities is this one only, mind, regarding mind only. Which are that Manaprasada. It should be pleasing. Mind should always in a very tranquil state. The mind should always be serene, very calm, in a tranquility, with no kinds of what you call harassing thoughts, bad thoughts, harmful thoughts, unforgiving, injurious to others, these kinds of thoughts, it will malign your consciousness. So, a mind should always be kept in such a situation Krishna especially says in the 6th chapter, verse 5, elevate yourself by the power of your mind. 6.5, Krishna says, Uddared Atmanatmanam, Uddared Atmanatmanam, Uddared, elevate yourself by your mind. Na Atmana, should not degrade yourself. You should always elevate yourself. So mind is always compared to a garden. A gardener is there, if a very good gardener is there, he keeps the garden very nicely, growing fruits, vegetables, flowers very systematically. One side will be fruits, then one side will be flowers, then the one side will be one part will be some vegetables grown. So the garden will be very nice. Suppose some weeds are growing without any cutting. There's so much growth. Forest type of plants. So that garden will not look very nice. It'll be untidy, it'll be bushy, and just like that, our mind is also like that. It should be nicely cultivated. We should not allow resentful, hateful, blaming, unforgiving, critical, and condemning thoughts. Thoughts are very important to reside in our mind because they will have a very bad effect on our consciousness. Last, anger, everything should be there, it should be controlled. Now people may think that thoughts are very secret. It is inside my mind only. Nobody is going to see. But sometimes it'll be reflecting on your eyes, in your face. So it is said that mind is a mirror of mind. So face is a mirror of mind. Face is a mirror of mind. From your face, you can understand what is the nature of your mind. From the looks in your eyes, you can understand whether he's a selfish person, selfless person, vicious person, nice person. Sometimes say, yeah, that is a trustworthy person. Oh, you can confide in him. Or sometimes, okay, it is not so. That person is very selfish. He's unreliable. Even when we grab things, when our movement of action, hands and legs will reveal the state of mind. So there is a very powerful saying that linking thoughts to character. There is always a link between words and the character. When you watch your thoughts, they become words. When you are not careful, your thoughts will be transformed to words. Watch your words, for they become actions. From words, spread to action. Watch your action because they form habits. If you do the same type of thing, action always then become form action habit. And watch your habits they form your character. And your habits become your character. And your character decides your destiny. So mind, thoughts, action, habit, character, everything is linked to your destiny. So mind is actually the starting point. So that is why the austerity of mind is very important. Manasamurtyam, then maunam, silence. Srila Prabhupada says that maunam doesn't mean total silence. Maunam means speaking only about Krishna. That is actually real maunam. Atma Vinigraha, control of mind, or we can say analyzing the situation of sorrow. So we are always to do introspection. One has to always do an introspection. Know what is my level, what is the level of my consciousness. Before I took up Krishna consciousness, what was my consciousness? Now, what is my consciousness? Every day you have to do introspection. What types of thoughts cross your mind? Generally, it's not that you should always write down and think this, I thought this way, that. No, we can understand the trend. We can understand the trend during the course of the day, what kind of thoughts cross your mind. So based on that, you can do introspection. Then you can understand your level of consciousness. So introspection is very, very important. Then bhava samshuddhi. Bhava samshuddhi means yes, again, you have seen Sattva Samshuddhi in 16th chapter is Sattva Samshuddhi, Avayam Sattva Samshuddhi, Jnana Yoga.
Vyavasthiti.
Yes, Sri. So Sattva Samshuddhi is, of course, purification of the Sattva, which is in the Andakarana. Same with Bhava. Bhava is a product of the Sattva. So that should be purified. And everything is residing in mind. So that is why the purification of the mind is very, very important. Austerities pertaining to purification of the mind is very, very, very essential. Now, after explaining the three types of austerities pertaining to body, words, and mind, then Krishna will explain the austerities in respect to different gunas. Next three verses. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any clarification need? Right. Thank you. You can render Darshan Kirtan Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Manah Prasada.
Prasada means pleasing aspect of the mind. Mind should always be pleasing. It should be kept in a pleasing state. Pleasantness, mind pleasantness. So only very serene thoughts, and best way to keep the mind pleasant is to chant. Because otherwise
Yes.
harsh thoughts will come. By default, what happens? We are always thinking of sense gratification only.
Yes, Prabhuji. Then these are the 5 qualities of mind given.
Yes,
Mana Prasada, Somya,
five austerities.
austerity. Yes. Somyatvam and Atma Vinigraham. Maunam.
Atma Vinigra means control of self. And another
Yes.
way also we can say that is also
Introspection.
introspection also. How do you
Introspection.
control your mind? By doing introspection, isn't it? We should know
Yes.
the state of consciousness, the state of level of my mind.
Yes.
So
Bhava
that
Samshuddhi
introspection
is there.
eh?
Bhava Samshuddhi is there.
Bhava
And
Samshuddhi is purification of your the chitta.
yes.
Because
Yes.
everything is pertinent to mind. No, you can see that the vasanas, what you are speaking imprints, everything actually is inside the mind only. Because the soul, so although it's pertaining to soul, the soul now in the conditioned state, the mind is representing the soul. So purification of mind is very, very essential.
Yes. Yes.
The control of mind.
Yes.
This is the best way is to chant.
Yes, Prabhuji. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladadaine. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Silatankanakalaye. Ito Narsimho Parato Narsimho. Yato yato yami tato Narsimha Bahir Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha Narsimha Madi Sharanam Prapade Tabakara Kamala Bare Nakham Adhuta Sringam Dalita Hiranyakasipu Tanu Brangam Kesabadrita Narahari Rupa जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय नरो हरि नरो हरि जय नरो हरि जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल ओं उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्यु नमाम्यहम् ओं उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्यु नमाम्यहम् ओं उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्यु नमाम्यहम् श्री नरसिंह जय जय श्री नरसिंह प्रह्लादेश जय पद्मामुख पद्मभृंग श्री नरसिंह जय जय श्री नरसिंह प्रह्लादेश जय पद्मामुख पद्मभृंग सर्व विघ्न विनाशक नरसिंह भगवान की जय।
जय गो प्रेमानंदे
हरि हरि बोल।
वाचालकृष्ण
कृपा सिंधु भयभत पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमो।
आनंद गौड़ी वैष्णव की जय
जय श्रील
श्रील
प्रभुपाद
प्रभुपाद
की
की
जय।
गो प्रेमानंद।